after all the rain of the past week, it is an absolutely gorgeous Monday afternoon here at Yankee Stadium, and it is time for baseball as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Texas Rangers in the rubber game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Paul O'Neill and Cameron Maben. I'm Michael Kay. Well, as they say, split happens, and that's what happened yesterday. Yankees and the Rangers split a doubleheader. Yankees won the first game 2-1. The Rangers the second game by a score of 4-2. And we've talked about how the Yankees are a more complete team this year. They run the bases well, more contact skills, but their offense is still predicated on the home run. And Gleyber Torres is starting to get in on that act.
Well, no doubt about it. I mean, he had a huge home run yesterday. Obviously, that's the one you remember because it's so recent, and it is a game winner. But Gleyber Torres is up to 228, which means he got off to a bad start. And you look how he has turned it around, and that's hitting the ball the other way, staying in there. His approach to me is so fragile when he starts hitting home runs, and he does the gritty. He starts opening up, and he starts trying to hit home runs. Stick with the other way, Gleyber, and you're going to be fine.
All right, Cam, let's talk about Giancarlo Stanton.
Another guy who hits the ball extremely hard and extremely far. Snapped a 9-game hitting streak last night, but got right back to it in Game 2, hitting a bomb in the visiting bullpen. So again, this is a guy who's been swinging the bat extremely well this year for the Yankees. Again, he's healthy, he's happy, and he's hungry. And again, approach when he's in the middle of the baseball field, so many good things happen, and we'll wait to see him get back to it tonight.
All right, so the last 14 games for Torres, 295, 3 homers, 11 ribbies, OPS of 887, and Giancarlo Stanton, 341, 4 home runs, and 11 runs batted in with an OPS over 1.030. The lineup, once again, is a little bit different from day to day. The mad scientist, Aaron Boone. How does he come up with the lineups? How does he make the decisions? Meredith Marakovitz has more when we return right here on Yes.
As the Yankees get set for the series finale with the Texas Rangers. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Marakovitz. There are a couple notes when it comes to this afternoon's lineup. Aaron Hicks is not in it, just a day according to Aaron Boone. You're going to see him try to give days off throughout this stretch to those major guys when they're playing 23 games in 22 days. So with no Hicks in the lineup, it's going to be Aaron Judge in center field, Joey Gallo in left, and Giancarlo Stanton in right field. Josh Donaldson will serve as this afternoon's DH. He's hit safely in 9 straight games. He's 9 for 33 during that span. Boone told me he loves the way he has been grinding at the plate, finding ways to get on base. And although he doesn't believe he's running on all cylinders offensively just yet, he feels as though it's just a matter of time until he really breaks out and is able to carry this offense. Also noteworthy, Jose Trevino is in there, day game after a night game. Including this afternoon, he will have caught in 9 out of the last 16 games. He just continues to earn playing time. When I spoke to Boone about him, not only is he impressed with his receiving, but also his commitment to the game plan, his investment in the preparation, and of course, as we know, he's one of the best pitch framers in the league. Plenty more to come here on the Yes Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by Cameron Maben and Paul O'Neill. First pitch coming your way after the break.
Cloud in the sky, just blue skies above, a nice brisk feel in the air, and we are ready for the rubber game of this 3-game set between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Yankees are in the middle, starting yesterday with the doubleheader of 23 games in 22 days. This was supposed to be an off day, but remember, Friday and Saturday against the Rangers were rained out, so one of the games was made up as a doubleheader yesterday, which was split between these two teams, and then the final game was a shared off day between the Yankees and the Rangers, and that's where we stand right now, playing this game at 1:05, and the Yankees stay home after this one. They'll welcome the Toronto Blue Jays into town for a 2-game set, so the place should be rocking at that point. And then again, the Yankees will hit the road 4 against the White Sox in Chicago, and then go to Baltimore for 4 against the Orioles. So the New York Yankees take the field. Nestor Cortez will take the mound, and we'll take a look at the Texas Rangers starting lineup. And it is presented by TikTok. It starts on TikTok. Marcus Semien at second base will lead off. Adolis Garcia, the DH, will bat second. Corey Seager, the shortstop, will hit third. Cleaning up catcher Jonah Heim. Nick Solak in left field will bat 5th, batting 6th. First baseman Andy Ibanez. Cole Calhoun in right field. Charlie Culberson at 3rd. And Eli White had a home run yesterday. He'll be in center field. He's going to bat 9th. 3 left-handed batters on the bench. Backup catcher, right-hander Mitch Garver, also on the bench for Chris Woodward and the Texas Rangers. And they will be facing Nestor Cortez. Nasty Nestor makes his 6th start of the season. So far in 5 starts, 1-1 with a 1.82. 31 strikeouts in 24 2/3 innings. He's allowed just 7 walks and 2 home runs. Opponents hitting .211 against him. So let's take a look now at the scouting report on the Yankee lefty.
Yeah, and the scouting report for Nasty Nestor Cortez, highly his finest, finding his command. A rough outing Wednesday in Toronto. 4 innings pitched, 2 runs, 4 walks, 3 Ks in the loss. Again, finding his command, neutralizing righties. Nestor has been one of the best lefties in American leagues, neutralizing righties and getting back to that cutter. He really had a lot of success early with that cutter. So getting his command back, getting that feel back for that cutter, hopefully Nestor get back to doing what he's been doing well, and that's getting outs.
Yeah, his last start was against the Toronto Blue Jays up in Toronto, and he didn't have great command of the cutter. He lasted just 4 innings, but certainly kept the Yankees in it. 4 hits and 4 walks, and he allowed just 2 runs against a really good Blue Jay lineup. Simeon's ready. Cortez is ready. Let's do it in the Bronx. First pitch is high, and we are underway. Rangers come in at 11-15. They've won 5 of their last 6 games. Yankees are 19-8 on the season. One and 2. Swing and a miss. Good start for Cortez as he strikes out Marcus Semien. Check out the Yankee defense. Brought to you by your local Tri-State GMC dealers. Full house backfield. In the outfield, Joey Gallo on left, Aaron Judge in center, Giancarlo Stanton in right. In the infield, it's LeMahieu, Kiner-Falefa, Torres and Rizzo. That's 3rd and 1st. Behind the plate, catching Cortez for the first time is Jose Trevino, and on the mound is Nestor Cortez.
You just sit and watch Cortez in amazement as he just continues to pump strikes in there and get swing and misses, and immediately with the strikeout with the cutter. So, you know, he is looking at using that much more, which has really helped him. Kim, you kind of mentioned it, really get inside on right-handed hitters.
Yankee rotation has pitched to a 2.79 ERA. They've been outstanding from 1 to 5. And the Yankee pitchers have allowed just 75 runs. Second fewest through 27 games in their history. The 1958 Yankees allowed 63. Strike 3, Garcia down looking. 2 outs, 2 strikeouts for Cortez. Let's check out the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, sometimes you got to challenge yourself. I mean, there's been a lot of baseball played in the last 24 hours, but sometimes, you know what, if you just want it a little bit more than the other team, you can scrape out a win. And offense early. I mean, you only scored 4 runs yesterday in a doubleheader, so you got to give this pitching a little bit of help, especially early in the game. And let's 5 out of 6. Let's go on. While we go to break, Michael. Texas is a much better team. They won 5 out of 6, despite their sub 500 record. If we need a little more time, Michael, I'll just take it. All right.
All right. Yankees coming up. And now the Yankee offense will take its turn against John Gray. The Yankee starting lineup brought to you by TikTok. It starts on TikTok. It starts with the 3rd baseman, DJ LeMahieu. Aaron Judge in center field will bat 2nd. Anthony Rizzo at first base hits 3rd. Giancarlo Stanton in right. Josh Donaldson the DH. Gleyber Torres plays 2nd. Bottom 3rd of the order is Joey Gallo on left. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at short. And Jose Trevino will catch him bat 9th. Yankees have 2 switch hitters and a right-handed batter to backup catcher, Kyle Higashioka, on the bench. And John Gray is on the mound, one of the free agent signings for the Texas Rangers. This will be his 4th start, 7.50 ERA, 11 strikeouts in 12 innings, 4 walks, 2 home runs. Opponents hit .244 against him. And let's check out the scouting report on John Gray.
On John Gray, one of the big ticket signings by the Rangers this offseason, 4 years, $56 million deal. But 2 early IL stints, blister early on, and then on the right middle finger, and then a left knee sprain. Again, he's feeling confident, though. Being here, talked about being with the team who he thought believed in him in this offseason, so he's excited about pitching for a new Texas team and being a part of what they call the rebuild and rebuilding the culture as well.
Count 1-0. Pitch outside, 2-0. You know, the Rangers obviously had to do their homework because the numbers of a starting pitcher that pitches in Colorado, they're just going to look different than pitchers that pitch in ballparks with normal altitude. So when you adjust it for park, he's still about 9% better than the average starter. That's why the Rangers said, well, let's go with it. And now he's facing a guy who spent a lot of his career in Colorado as well. And it used to be that you looked at hitters and said, well, they can't be as good as they are in Colorado. But it turns out that they could be, because you suffer a lot of negativity by batting in Colorado, especially when you leave there.
Absolutely. But DJ LeMahieu, we'll talk about him. One thing, his bat never sleeps. Even last year on a down year, he had a pretty good season. It was down by his standards, but he's a guy who's always been able to handle the bat, control the zone well, as you see right there. Colorado on the road, he's a guy whose splits were always pretty even. You see a lot of big splits, guys. Home splits are usually a lot better than the away splits, and again, the pitchers usually suffer from it as well. The home pitchers, like John Gray has spoken about, you know, he was excited about getting out of Colorado and coming to Texas and pitching in a different climate and altitude. So we'll see how it affects him this season.
All right, so LeMahieu with a leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Judge. The combination of Judge and Rizzo, which has been really deadly for most of the early season, well, in the last 3 games, they're combined 2 for 20. So obviously they are set to break out. Foul back to the screen. Yankees have won 5 straight series, and they are 6-1-1 in series this year. The one loss was to the Orioles, 2 out of 3. The split was splitting 4 games with the Toronto Blue Jays here in April. That's why they've gotten off to a 19-8 start. They keep winning series. Take a look at the Rangers defense, brought to you by your local Tri-State GMC dealers. Solak in left, Eli White in center, and Cole Calhoun, who's won 1 Gold Glove. He's in right field. You've got Culberson, Seager, Simeon, and Ibanez third to first. Jonah Heim behind the plate. John Gray is on the mound. Two and one on Judge. So Gray, a 4-year, $56 million deal signed this offseason. He, along with Seager and Simeon, well, cost the Rangers a lot of money, as the Rangers are trying to get better quickly and going the free agent route to do it. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. It's 64 degrees. There's 0% chance of rain, humidity 26%, the wind out of the northeast at 21 miles per hour.
Oh, breezy there for you, Michael.
Nice though.
Glad you got your turtleneck on.
You know, Paul, it's Meredith and Cameron's fault. They both wore turtlenecks yesterday. Said they were going to wear it today, and they deked me into it. Cameron has on a beautiful suit.
I tell you what, Paul, Michael is looking mighty dapper today. I thought he called Dapper Dan to get his fit. He's looking real sharp.
You know what? A lot of people peek off notes. You know, he's peeking off your dress. You know,
yep.
You're starting to sport him up a little bit.
High fly ball, right field, going back Calhoun into the corner, and that ball is foul. Just to the right of the foul pole.
Don't think the wind is affecting the baseball today. You look at that. I mean, Calhoun jogged and just drifted, and the ball just kept going towards the corner. Off the bat, you thought he had a shot, but as a right fielder, boy, you run out of room quick. Right off the top of the wall, just foul.
So 3-2 on Judge. LeMahieu at first, bottom of the first inning. Just underway here at the stadium. And a walk. 2 straight walks by Gray. Home plate umpires Ramon De Jesus, and he's pitcher friendly, Paul. More outside strikes, more low strikes on right-handed batters, and Ramon in his 7th big league season.
You know what? It's amazing to me that we actually, and I think it's really neat, pitcher friendly, batter friendly. Well, there's a plate up there for a reason. Call the balls that hit the plate strikes, and call the balls off the plate balls. How can you be liking pitchers or liking hitters more? I don't get it.
Maybe it's personality, you know?
So in other words, every umpire would be red to me, you're telling me.
Yeah, pretty much. Pitch to Rizzo is in the dirt.
Except for Randy Marsh, who we mentioned last night from Kentucky. He was my best buddy.
Loved you. Doug Mathis quickly out of the dugout as Gray pitching himself into a jam here in the bottom of the first inning. Let me give you the rest of the umpires. Lance Barrett's at first, Alfonso Marquez at second, and there's a new umpire, Shane Livensbarger. He's at third. You've never had the joy of playing in a game umpired by Shane, Paul? So you don't hate him.
He'd still be in the red, though. It's all on personality, right?
Now, Cam, did you make nice to umps and say, hey, how you doing? You look great today?
I didn't tell them they looked great, but I always spoke. I always spoke and said they were doing. Hey, have a good one. Try not to mess it up.
Two and one. Rizzo, 2 hits in his last 27 at bats. Had a big hit in yesterday's game. That was in game 2. Hit sharply and right at Ibanez. There's one. On to Gray covering. There's 2. So a 3-6-1 double play as LeMahieu advances to third.
Well, the double play will help pitchers out so much early in the game here, too. A lot of bad things can happen as far as a big inning, but boy, a hard hit ball turned into 2 the hard way by Gray, having to get over to first base. And we talked about him having knee problems, so you wonder how well he is moving, but he got over there no problem.
So here's Stanton hitting .341 in his last 11 games. And a long home run in game 2 yesterday, a 2-run shot. And I came in through the center field gate today. I know that was listed at 461. I just don't know how it can be. I mean, left center field, it's 399. So he hit it to the right of the left center field sign, but I don't even think the bullpen is 61 feet wide.
Well, you know, I saw a stat that showed it being 421. Actually.
Yeah, that
sounds
was right.
about right.
Absolutely. So
looking
they
at
changed
it through the wind. Even talked to Stan last night. He said he hit that ball really well, but he did have to hit it through the wind. But I did see a number that showed that homer was actually 421 feet.
That sounds much more reasonable.
Where it landed, everything, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, because the first one that came up on the computer was 461, and I scratched my head.
Smart device, it's all right. A lot of these smart devices aren't always the smartest.
Computers make mistakes.
Hey, Cam, did you ever notice when Michael scratches his head, he uses both hands?
Oh.
I was just checking. Just checking.
That's different right there, huh?
I don't know, 421, 461, it both counts.
And they both
went a long way.
Way back.
Good to get the head joke out of the way right early going, first inning. Now we can proceed. The 2-2. Upstairs, 3-2.
Had a good conversation with Stanton this morning. He talked about playing right field and talked about how he enjoyed being back out there, how it actually made him feel more engaged and locked in throughout the game. You know, DHing isn't always the easiest thing to do. You can kind of, go in your head and start thinking about other things that have nothing to do with the game. So it was interesting hearing him saying he enjoyed being back in right.
Michael, we went over that last year. I think that we talked a lot about how much, how good he was, unexpectedly in the outfield. He's a pretty good outfielder. He made a great play in Toronto last week, and he did. When he took the field a lot more last year, it seemed to turn him around offensively, too.
Gray battling Stanton. Count still 3-2. Stanton with 6 home runs and 19 runs batted in.
Now, before coming over to the Yankees, he was a pretty good right fielder in the National League for a while. I mean, he was really considered as an above-average outfielder with a really good throwing arm as well. So he definitely, has it in there to play some good defense.
Grounded to short. Seager across the diamond. The stretch by Ibanez. So the Yankees, first and second, nobody out. They don't score. They leave one runner on. We'll go to the second. Yankees. Today's picture was submitted by Steve. His son, Zach, recently celebrated his 2nd birthday by watching the Yankees on TV with his dad. Looks like they will win him because obviously Zach is very happy. So Steve, great picture. Thanks for sending it in. Use the hashtag Toyota Pinstripe Pride. Post your picture to social media to reflect your love for the Yankees. We might spotlight you in a future game. Here's Jonah Heim. 0-1.
When you see those numbers, and we talked about him yesterday, a little surprising, but not surprising that he's doing it a lot against lefties over his career. He's been a very good hitter, career 300 hitter off lefties. So it's a good series for him matchup-wise with Montgomery and now Cortez.
Heim is from Snyder, New York, which is just outside Buffalo. Grew up a big Yankee fan. He loved Jorge Posada and Russell Martin.
And Paul spoke about Jonah Heim's success against lefties, but Nestor Cortez, as a left-handed pitcher, has been extremely good against right-handed hitters. I mean, minimum 200 batters faced, an opponent's OBP 3rd in the AL, OPS 4th in the AL, slugging 10th in the AL, and that's behind Carlos Rodon and John Means, 2 really good left-handers. So he's done a really good job being able to neutralize these good right-handed hitters.
So 3-2 on Heim. Spent 7 seasons in the minors. Started his big league career in 2020 with the Oakland A's. There's a foul ball. Second inning here at the stadium, 0-0. Yankees and the Rangers. Final game of this 3-game set. And there's a walk.
Ball just missed inside. That's the four-seamer. He just tried to dot the inside corner and kind of tugged it in.
So here's Nick Solak. So he played second base last year, but with the signing of Simeon, they've had to move him to left field. He did play 29 games there in 2020. Formerly with the Yankees, second-round pick by the Yankees in 2016 out of Louisville. There's a strike.
I think that's extremely important in nowadays game, is being able to play multiple positions. You know, coming up, I always was told to, you know, be good at one spot. I only focused on outfield, I only focused on center field, but I think it is such an attribute to be able to move around the diamond. It's a good way to always stay in the lineup.
Judge comes on to make the play to retire Solak. Which baseball movie is your favorite of all time? Fill out your bracket at MLB.com/bleacherfeatures for a chance to win a Hollywood prize package, including tickets to the All-Star Game presented by MasterCard in L.A.
We need some options here, Michael. We got Major League, Field of Dreams.
You just stop at Pride of the Yankees. Just stop at that. That's all you have to say.
All
Pride
right.
of the Yankees.
All right.
I'm going with 42.
Ibanez gunned out by LeMahieu as Heim moves to second base. Bull Durham.
Yes.
It's another good one. Can't believe neither one of you guys have said The Sandlot. I mean, am I that young or what?
You were very young, yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sandlot,
I
not
do
a great, you know? You play ball
Sandlot's
like
one
a
of those
girl.
movies you've seen 15 times. You know, you just watch bits and pieces. Every time you turn on the channel, if it's on, you just watch it.
Here's Calhoun. High pop-up. Let's see who's going to get it. Torres makes the call and the catch for the final out. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left on base. Let's go to the bottom of the second. Yes, is brought to you in part by NYU Langone Health. By FanDuel Sportsbook, make every moment more. By Cadillac, gravitate to greatness and visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today. And by the New York Lottery, get out there and play. So far, all of the people we've seen either managed or played with Paul O'Neill. There's another one.
I think Mike Stanton.
And another.
In the game. No. Oh, look at this. Let the wheel go on. It's making me feel good. I actually played the game.
He did not play with Joey Gallo.
I did not. I saw today in the game notes, I think Mike Stanton got his first career major league start on this day. He pitched at a bullpen for 106 years, but he got his first start. I guess that's when you started doing, you know, throwing a reliever out there for a couple innings and then you'd fill in the rest.
Now, Josh Donaldson has had a vitamin hitting streak. One a day. He has a 9-game hitting streak. He has 9 hits during the streak. 9 for 33. And he goes down swinging against Gray, 1 away. And that'll bring up Gleyber Torres, and it's time for the Miller Lite moment. This swing ended game 1 of the doubleheader. A walk-off and a 2-1 victory. That's the Miller Lite moment. There's Gleyber Torres. Now remember, the Rangers manager Chris Woodward said that that would have been an out in 99% of all the ballparks. And Aaron Boone, doing an incredible amount of math in a short period of time, was asked that in the postgame, and he said, well, there's only 30 teams. It can't be 99%. So, Meredith, you talked to Glaber about it?
And he essentially said, look, both teams are playing in the same ballpark with the same dimensions, and then went on to say, hey, it felt pretty good to hit a walk-off homer in a Little League ballpark. I'll take it. Happy to win the first game. And you mentioned, obviously, Chris Woodward's comments after that first game that kind of sparked all this. Well, he walked it back a little bit after Game 2, saying those comments were a little bit of a joke, and then called Yankee Stadium a, quote, cathedral.
I guess his hamstrings are okay, backpedaling like that, as Torres goes down on strikes. I sent these out today. What a day here at Williamsport, as I was coming in by the 314 sign, and then I took a picture of Chris Woodward hitting infield practice to his team, and I said, Little League Park. Yeah, a lot of people like that on Twitter.
No, that was a good one. I mean, it kind of did have like a Little League Park here today. No fans here yet. It was... all I needed was some popcorn and a ticket.
My friend Rich Eisen of the NFL Network said, is Danny Almonte starting today? Gallo takes low, 1-0. Hey, listen, you can say that right field plays short here, but David Cohn has done a deep dive on the numbers, and he lives by the numbers, and he said that for the most part, this is considered a pitcher's park. There's so many spots that a pitcher can use to get long outs. And this is not considered a really hitter-friendly ballpark other than that spot in right field, the short porch. And since they don't have the right field fence on rollers, I believe that the Rangers, it's the same distance for them. Skied the other way, right down the line, and foul. Wouldn't that be cool if they could move the fence in and out according to who's batting?
That would be cool. Like this guy, he doesn't have a lot of pop, so we'll move it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of pop to right field. We'll move it in a little bit for him.
Well, I don't know if
for Stanton, we'll move it back a lot. You know, for Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, let's move it all the way back to the judges' chambers.
Now, these have never been proven, but the rumors were when the Giants were coached by Bill Parcells at Giant Stadium, if the other team was trying to kick a field goal, he would have the stadium workers open up the gates and have the wind blow into that side of the stadium. Never been proven, but it seemed like there's a lot of validity to it. When Buck Showalter managed the Yankees, and they'd go in and play the Tigers at Tiger Stadium, and Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell were getting older, he said, you could lose a small child in the infield grass. They keep it so high.
Well, I tell you what, I do remember those days. You wanted to elevate the ball there because you couldn't get it through the infield. But, you know, they're not a better place in the world to take batting practice. And, you know, you could try to hit them out of the stadium. You could try to hit that upper deck. And, you know, you always remember as a player, see Joey Gallo take ball 4, that home run that Reggie hit in the All-Star game off the transformer on top of the roof. And you would take BP and just see how far that was, because you'd fall way short, believe me.
And here is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. We take a look at the Indeed player resume. Former Texas Ranger, 27 years old, from Hawaii, 4th round pick by Texas, 2013, won the Gold Glove at third base, and actually played 73 games in the bigs as a catcher with the Rangers. So we know there's 3 positions that he could play very, very well.
Yeah, it's really impressive. One thing I always say he does really well, and I noticed it from the moment he came into the league, even behind the plate, is he catches the ball well. I mean, you see him at short, Gold Glove. You know, he's played some left. He could play center. It says a lot about the athlete that IKF is, and, you know, I'm happy to see him getting it going. He talked about it with me yesterday, just how good it felt to get himself going, how nervous he was to begin with, how it was true that these pinstripes can be heavy, but, you know, he talked about just trusting the process, knowing who he is as a player, and you see him, you know, sparking the Yankees like they thought he would do.
Fouls that one back, 1-1. I love the fact, Cameron, that he wasn't too cool for school, where he admitted that.
I love it.
It just, it was too
he
much.
He literally said to me yesterday, man, thank you for telling me that, because you're right. It was really, really hard to just relax, calm myself down, and just play the game. And, when you come in and put this uniform on, you want to ingratiate yourself to these Yankees fans. You want these people to love you, but you got to remember that the biggest thing is playing the game and doing what you can. And he's doing that right now, and it's fun to watch.
Cam, O'Neill's first game with the Yankees, I think he wrapped out 4 hits, so they weren't too heavy for him.
Hey, that's why his numbers are going. That's why his numbers don't get retired.
That's right.
Oh, by the way, listen to this, Michael. I got a good 21 story for you.
All right.
So yeah, the Kentucky Derby, right?
Yep.
Yesterday, Frankie, my buddy Frankie.
Yeah.
He said just out of nowhere, he throws $10 on number 21. It won the race.
Wow.
Bought dinner and everything. He liked. I said, what was the horse's name? He said, Paulie's number. I said, I don't think so.
Well, Paul, let me ask you, which jersey was heavier? Was it the pinstripes or was it the Reds jersey?
You know what? The tradition obviously was the Yankees, but I never realized it until I was traded how hard it is to play at home.
Right.
And you want to do it. You love it. Everybody's there. Your family's there. But you put so much pressure on yourself to try to do well because everybody you feel like is watching when you're at home.
Absolutely.
So 1-2 on IKF. And Gray deals. Punch foul.
Those are the type of swings that, you don't see a lot of. Just guys fighting balls off. Got to drive pitchers crazy. We've talked about it with David Cohn. He would hate the hitters that were the tough outs more than the home run hitters. I mean, this is a ball that, you can't do anything with, but what do? You just foul it off and try to give him another chance to make a mistake for a ball you can hit. What a great shot that is.
Grounded to third, fielded by Culberson, fires across the diamond, and that'll do it. Paul, I just get information that Randy Marsh was at the Kentucky Derby. I heard he lives there.
Yeah, very nice. You're pulling them out of your hat. Oh, my God.
Stand. Well, this finishes up the series against Texas, then Toronto for 2 games. Tuesday night, and then a 12:35 start. That's a 12:35 start, so mark it on Wednesday, and then the Yankees hit the road 4 games in Chicago and 4 games in Baltimore. Top of the 3rd inning, 0-0. That guy was a Nestor lookalike. Looked like Nestor. Culberson fouls it back.
But I don't know if he can spin it like Nestor. Oh, definitely. Okay.
Right?
Showing some Nestor love right there. He's got an early Halloween costume on right now.
Paul, explain to us that haven't played at a high level. How could Nestor throw 93 and sometimes his fastball overpowers you, and then you see guys hit 99-mile-an-hour fastballs?
It's really, really hard to explain other than deception. He'll change his arm angle. He changes movement. I was kind of doing the math today, kind of dumbfounded myself, because if you add his cut fastball, which he's thrown a lot more, and his four-seamer, I mean, that's 74-75% of his pitches. Most guys that are in the low 90s top end are throwing a lot of sliders, a lot of changeups. He just pumps strikes. He throws the ball where he wants. And I tell you, a big thing is he's fearless. He does not worry about getting hit. He continues to go after guys and make sure that, he makes them swing the bat.
swing and a miss. Cameron, was he the type of guy that we talked about yesterday that if you went 0 for 4 against him, you'd say, what happened?
Yeah, it was a frustrating at bat. I mean, he does, like Paul said, he does such a good job pitching to different quadrants. And I think that's what makes Nestor so good. And again, he spoke on it, knowing himself, being able to go out there and be himself, throw his little quirky deliveries in there, mix them up, and the Yankees being okay with it. So a lot of it, too, is allowing a guy to just be himself. And when you allow players to be themselves, they usually are extremely comfortable and they usually have success. So I think he, going out there and just trusting his ability has had a lot of effect on how good he's been.
Strike to White.
Ooh, or it's called one at least. Cam, that's a really good point, because I think a lot of times when you come to the major leagues, they want to fix you. They want to make you become something that, you really haven't had to do your whole career. And then all of a sudden, you tinker with things and you might lose at what you were really good at. And there's nothing better than going out and playing the game the way you want. And if that's not good enough, that's not good enough.
Andrew Miller used to talk to me about this when we were roommates early in our Detroit Tiger days, and he was such a highly touted prospect coming out of North Carolina, arguably one of the best lefties to get drafted at the time. And he came in Detroit, wanted to take his crossfire. He had a really big crossfire that, he step across his body and, sling it from, 3/4 arm slot. And he talked about when they try to straighten him up, step straight at your target. He talked about how his velo dropped, has mechanics started to fall apart, and he couldn't repeat things like he once was. So like you said, sometimes the best thing to do is just let a guy play and then figure out as you go, especially if he's already having success early in his career.
He's having success with his cutter, another good one. And you see, I mean, there's really no spin to that, and that's why it makes it so hard for a hitter to really pick up and gauge where it's going to end up. And it usually ends up on the handle of a right-handed hitter.
We talked about that yesterday. Andy Pettit introduced me to that pitch, and it was it was a pretty effective one. Ball's moving, it's not spinning. As a hitter, that's tough. You don't want to deal with that. But he has his cutter command today, and that's what you want to see from Nestor, and that's what he wants to see and feel out there. When he's got the command of that cutter, it opens up the entire plate. Backdoor, inside, up, down. He can do so many good things.
Two and two. Just stays alive. This is a StatCast 3D by Google Cloud, taking a look at his pitch arsenal. So the cutter, the four-seamer, that's most of his stuff. And then slider, sinker, and he mixes in an occasional change. Still 2 and 2. Almost struck out the side there. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, and Cortez strikes out the side. 5 Ks. In 3 innings. First it was Culberson, 1 out. White, 2 outs. Simeon, he gone. We go to the bottom of the 3rd.
Announced on social media the other day that they'll be expecting their 2nd child, a baby boy, in mid-September. Now, Michael, this photo was taken in Arizona just a few days before he was traded to the Yankees. If you don't believe me, check out the beard, clearly not gone yet, and there is a Rangers connection. The photographer was Molly White, the wife of Rangers center fielder Eli White. And his 3-year-old son, Josiah, loves Nick Solak. He can't understand why he plays for the Rangers and his dad plays for the Yankees, but he assures me that he is fully converted into a Yankees fan. He's been here at the stadium and loves watching Aroldis Chapman come in because all the fire comes up. But exciting news for the Trevino's.
Well, the youngsters are a little disappointed. Chapman hasn't pitched in 7 days, so maybe it happened today.
Tell you what, the best thing about that photo was his son, the little one, going, no. I thought it was supposed to be about me and me only. My middle son was like that when my youngest daughter was born. He was devastated for the first week. Like, why is this little girl here and who is she? So that was a great picture.
And I do believe Meredith, if she said it's in Arizona, I looked at the cactus in the background. So, yeah, I don't think that was a prop.
Tap bat up the middle. Right there is Seager, and he gets LeMahieu two-way. Both pitchers spinning early no-hitters here. Rangers have not had a hit in 3 innings against Cortez. The Yankees have not had a hit in 2 2/3 against Gray.
Yeah, coming off that doubleheader where you only scored 4 runs last night as the Yankees, and you're getting such good pitching. You hate to waste it, but you need to. I mean, obviously easier said than done. Put some runs up early. Give Nestor Cortez, Cole, Montgomery, these guys that are giving you great starts. Give them an opportunity to relax and control the game instead of every single pitch in a tie game can change.
Pitch to Judge is a strike.
Shocker. Ball down low. Strike 1.
And he's hearing it from the Yankee dugout now.
And it's happened his first at bat as well. 3-1 pitch was down below the zone also. So this is, you know, reoccurring. It's really impressive how he continues to stay disciplined though throughout his at-bats and not let it affect him. That's what I've really been surprised to see.
0-2.
Any way around it. I mean, when you're as tall as Aaron Judge, the ball's not a strike. And Aaron Boone's probably thinking over there on the dugout, you know, it's a sunny day. It's 70 degrees. Should I go throw my gum and get thrown out again, or should I enjoy this and give Aaron Judge an opportunity to go deep? But it's just, it's very frustrating, especially with the talent of Aaron Judge, to see him only get 1 or 2 strikes in an at bat because the umpire takes the bat out of his hand.
Second baseman Simeon makes the play. And a 1-2 inning for John Gray as he retires the Yankees in order. We're going to the 4th. 0-0 here on Yes. 2020, Corey Seager became the 6th shortstop all-time to win World Series MVP. Who were the previous 5? I can think of 2 Yankees. Seager will bat after Garcia, who leads off here in the 4th. Boy, Garcia does not get cheated with that swing.
But you see right there, 90 miles per hour by you.
Yep.
The deception that he has because he has so many different pitches that he can go to.
That's his Linda Ronstadt pitch. Blue Bayou.
Good old Bayou ball.
You like that, Paul. Don't nod. You love it.
I'm right on it. I knew what you were saying. That might be a little bit before your booth mate's time over there.
Way before.
Linda Ronstadt.
Way before Paul.
Come on. Ja Rule is before him. He's so young.
As a matter of fact, I did a little Ja Rule workout today. He was on my hit list.
That's right.
4 strikeouts in a row for Cortez. And here's Seager. There's a strike.
And Nestor working ahead. And when he's doing what he does best, he's getting strike 1. He's not falling behind, having to give in. When he gets strike 1, he can do so many different things to the hitter. Already today, 8 out of 12 first pitch strikes.
It looked so much better than he did against Toronto. I don't know if it was a product of the lineup that he was facing. The Rangers are not a really great offensive team, but he was very careful and really not in command against the Blue Jays as he has been in his other starts.
Wow, I was just going to say, you know, second time through the lineup, we haven't seen a lot of arm angle changes yet. That's really the first one today, and he'll start to mix that in. The one thing about it is that he's able to throw strikes, even dropping down. That was interesting there, because first time he dropped down fastball, second time he dropped down breaking ball. So it was a hitter. You know, it's still a different pitch. See him go sidearm there. A little slider.
It's so impressive to watch Nestor work. I mean, not only does he go sidearm, he also like shortens his motion up as well. You know, that's impressive to have that kind of command and have a long arm stroke or short arm stroke and still be able to throw strikes.
Well, a ground out to second breaks the strikeout streak when we go to the bottom of the fourth. 0-0. Answer to this trivia question: in 2020, Corey Seager became the 6th shortstop all-time to win World Series MVP. Who were the previous 5? Well, Derek Jeter did it. So did Bucky Dent. Let's see the others.
Got to believe Alan Trammell, right?
Yeah, in '84, that great Tiger team. David Eckstein and Edgar Renteria.
Ah,
nice. Captain. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning on the Audi scoreboard. A lot of zeros up there. It'll be Rizzo, Stanton, and Donaldson against Gray.
You know, to add to that trivia, Michael, I was looking at, I thought, you know, he won the MVP of the NLCS that year also, and the World Series MVP. And I thought, you know, that couldn't have happened very much. So I kind of looked it up. 8 other people have done that. 8 guys have done that total, which was surprising to me. And then the next thing was they were all national leaguers. So it just, you know, complicated things here. But then all of a sudden you get names like Willie Stargell, Oral Hershiser, Livan Hernandez, Cole Hamels, David Freese, Baumgartner, and Seager. And all national leaguers. I thought that was interesting.
Get on a roll in the LCS, carry it right into the World Series.
You don't know how many times that you're either or as a player. You either have a great championship series or you have a great World Series. It's very hard to keep it going through 2 series because they make adjustments. They pitch around you. You say, you know, league championship series, you have a great series. You go into the World Series, you're on the poster board, this guy's not going to beat us. So it's very hard for a player to have back-to-back huge NLCS and World Series.
1-2 on Rizzo, wrapped into a 3-6-1 double play in the first. Kind of extinguished a rally. First 2 Yankees in the first inning walk, LeMahieu and Judge. But then the ground ball turned into 2 outs, and Stanton grounded to short to end the threat. Yankees have had 3 base runners, all via the walk. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Rizzo down on strikes.
You see Rizzo shortening up right there, trying to battle with 2 strikes, but this is a good pitch, a backup breaking ball at the top of the zone. It's tough to really do anything with that pitch right there. And you see Anthony Rizzo going down on strikes.
You know, I hate to say it, but I think the pitchers have pitched a good day to pitch. It might be that doubleheader hangover. Doesn't seem like either offense is quite getting it going yet.
After a doubleheader, you start looking down that schedule, realizing not many days off, and it seems like it's a little bit tougher to wake up the next morning for a day game.
Cam, I've talked to Michael about this many times, and I want to kind of get your take on it too. It's amazing how much your body knows what you're conditioned to do. And if you play a doubleheader, you wake up the next day and it's like, you know, I feel a little different today. I got dead legs. I'm a little more sore. It's just from the 18 innings instead of the 9 innings. And, you know, you would think it's not that big a deal, but it does show up when you do a little bit more than you're accustomed to doing.
Yeah, I really agree. Absolutely. And, you know, the toughest thing about that, too, is, you know, we're creatures of habit. We get in a routine, you know, day games, you leave the house at 9 o'clock. But after a long day like that, you're questioning, You know, do I stick to my routine? Do I make sure I get, you know, a couple extra hours of sleep? You know, do I go in and get my workout out? So it definitely can throw a little wrench in your plans, trying to figure out how you want to go about your business, because, you know, mentally we're such creatures of habit and we want to stick to our routine. And sometimes you got to listen to your body.
Here's Donaldson. 4 strikeouts for Gray. There's something that'll interest you, Paul. Gray believes in ghosts. He's a ghost hunter.
All right.
He said, I had an experience when I was younger that made me think maybe this is real. And I do believe there is a dark side like demons. You got to stay away from them and never provoke. Interesting.
He needs to call Ray Parker Jr. or Bill Murray or something.
You need the Ghostbusters? Yeah.
That's right.
Remember the old hotel we used to stay in St. Pete? They used to say that that was haunted.
I stayed on that side.
Yeah,
of the
I wanted to see it, and it never happened.
I swear I tricked myself one night there and, you know, called myself putting a glass on a table, and then it fell off the table, and I was like, oh, yeah, this place is definitely haunted.
Right.
The Vinoy, I think I definitely fell for that. I don't know if it was a scam or what. I just, you know, tricked myself. The Fister Milwaukee also supposed to be haunted.
Wow, I'm glad I'm not playing anymore. I'd be scared to death to stay at these places now.
Scared of ghosts for?
Ghosts can't hurt you, right?
No, I want to see one of them. I used to check into the Vinoy hoping, I hope it's me.
And put me on the haunted side, too.
Yeah, put me on the side that's haunted.
I'm not going to lie. I'm much more into angels.
Line drive. There's the Yankees' first hit against John Gray. It's the first hit of the game, and it extends Donaldson's hitting streak to 10 straight.
His first at bat, he looked a little off balance, and he was out in front as he struck out. But here you see his leg kick a little higher there, brought his hands in, and the only way you can do that is if you stay back. See how much higher it is, and it gives him the ability, even when he's beat inside, to bring his hands in and still line this ball to left field. Really good at bat right there.
There's Gleyber Torres.
I want to take a look at the side view right here. One thing he talked to me about yesterday in the cage was on his backside, he was getting a little slidey, with his back foot sliding a little bit. You see right there, he really rotates into the ground, his head extremely still. So again, something that he's been working on in the cage, and I know he'll be happy to take a look at that swing when he goes back in.
One and one. All right, you're retired now. Why'd the glass actually fall? Come on.
Ghost, man. Or it might have been the pillow I threw across the room.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Pillow I didn't like, and I get rid of this one. Glass fell, ghost in the room. Bam. Story to tell tomorrow.
There you go. Runner on first base, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Two and two. Two. Foul back.
Kim, you see what I see there? On that's back foot. I'm going to pull this baseball, and that's not how he hit that home run yesterday.
That swing before as well.
Wow.
Swing before as well, Paulie. Same thing. You can see his front side really kind of pull off that ball. And again, backside collapsing a little bit on that swing as well. You're right. When Gleyber stays tall and above the baseball through the middle, good things happen.
Mm-hmm.
2-2. High fly ball, center field. White is there. And he puts it away for the final out. No runs a hit. One man left. It's time for more Nestor. Nasty Nestor has been living up to his nickname, Filthy, here on a Monday afternoon, ringing up 7 strikeouts and not allowing one hit. Stick around. More Nestor when we return. Thank you, Michael. Nick Solak takes a strike as we start the 5th inning. 0-0. Yankees and the Rangers, and quickly 0-2. Boy, Cortez is working quickly and throwing strikes. We're in the 5th inning, just starting it, and he's at 49 pitches, so he has been economical and highly effective.
He's working like a lefty that used to give me fits, and Mark Burley just blowing through this game. Really? Remember how quick Burley used to work, Paul? Get it and go. I mean, he would be through his windup and the catcher hadn't even put the sign down yet.
I don't know that pitchers realize, you know, how much pressure that puts on the hitter to work at a fast pace and not let you stand and think about, you know, every single pitch. It's like, you know, they're putting the pressure on you, and I don't know that enough pitchers know that, you know, that it can be effective.
Absolutely. You hear so much about tempo and pace, and nothing frustrated me more than a guy, you know, that I had to make sure my hand was up when I stepped into the box, and, you know, I always had to keep my eye on him because he was ready to pitch. You know, those guys really, you know, had the ability to frustrate me at times. But you don't see it a lot, like you said.
LeMahieu across the diamond gets Solak for the first out of the 5th. Why don't we go around the majors? Robinson Cano officially released by the Mets. He's owed $45 million combined with Seattle and the Mets. Seattle does pick up some of it. The Red Sox 5-game losing streak, 3-12 in their last 15 games, and Alex Cora says he's going to shave his beard. He has to change something. And the Blue Jays 2-5 in the last 7 games, 3 runs or fewer in 5 games, and they come into town next. There's a strike to Ibanez.
No, that right there shows you just how important it is to continue to win series that like the Yankees have done. In this division, you know, teams starting to struggle here and there. Just finding a way to win a series is going to be extremely important throughout the rest of the season.
Popped up. Trevino and Rizzo run out of room.
You know, Michael, last time that we did the Blue Jays series, they lost Teoscar Hernandez, and you wondered, were they going to miss him? Well, he just recently got back. Be back for that series coming up here, but he's a big staple in their lineup, and I think that they notice, you know, to hit Vlad and those guys, you still have to have those good hitters around him, and Hernandez was sorely missed.
You saw our strikeout leaders, brought to you by Genesis League Leaders, and Nestor at 32% strikeouts. Just missed there. That would have been strikeout number 8 instead of ball number 2, 2-2.
I'll tell you what, I think he fooled the umpire here. Dropped down and just slung it across the plate. The ball looked very close inside.
Grounded up the middle. Right there is kind of Falefa. 2 away. You look up at the board, Nestor's ERA at this point is 1.53. See Burke warming up. Gray hasn't pitched a lot because of the 2 trips to the IL, so he's not stretched out that much to continue to throw in this game.
I think a lot of that success today is coming from, again, getting strike 1, pounding the zone, not falling behind. You know, Nestor pitches to the edges, but you have to pitch inside that box and be, pitch pitch to the different quadrants and make guys swing the bat. And when he's making them swing the bat, that's when he's extremely effective. Now, he really needed a start like this after his last two. Struggled a little bit, not up to Nestor standards, but today, I mean, he has got it back and, you know, got his command and controlling the zone and attacking hitters. It's fun to watch when he's on like this.
Might be a good idea for the Yankee offense to maybe awaken from its slumber.
Well, you spoke about it yesterday. You know, those 3 games off, they were really high, bat swinging well. To have to go, you know, and sit down for 3 days, you know, an off day and 2 rainouts. You know, it makes it tough to get back in the groove of things, and you're seeing that right now with the sluggish start from the offense in this series.
This crowd getting excited, looking for a strikeout. 1 base runner for the Rangers, the walk to Heim to lead off the 2nd inning. Otherwise, Cortez has been perfect.
And the first time working with Trevino this year as well, and they seem not to be having any issues at all.
And the 2-2. Strike 3. Calhoun down looking. Strikeout number 8 for Cortez. Through 5, he is not allowed a hit to the Texas Rangers. We're halfway through. Yankees and the Rangers. Nothing on yes.
To you by Montefiore, state-of-the-art healthcare in New York City, Westchester, and the Hudson Valley. Ben Rortvedt is on the mend. He started a rehab assignment on Saturday. He's played in 2 games for the Tarpons so far, 2 for 4 with a solo home run and a walk. He originally injured his oblique back on March 19th. Time will tell exactly how many rehab games they give him. But Michael, yet another defensive catcher in the Yankees organization, a position now they certainly have some depth at.
And Meredith, if you think about it, it's really a rough injury for Rortvedt because when he got hurt, the Yankees got Trevino. Trevino's not going anywhere, and they're only going to carry 2 catchers. And Rortvedt does have an option remaining, so it's a tough break for him because he was going to break camp with the team.
There's no doubt about it. I spoke to him during spring training, and he just expressed how excited he was to get an opportunity up here. And in speaking to Aaron Boone, it wasn't that Kyle Higashioka was going to be the catcher every day. Rortvedt was going to get opportunity. He'd be in there a couple days a week, so certainly a tough blow, but you never know what will happen up here at the major league level. The best thing he can do is certainly continue to make sure that oblique feels okay and give the Yankees an additional option.
And when you talk to people in baseball, they really don't worry about it as much as we do and fans do, because they say a lot of the problems that you think are unsolvable end up solving themselves, where somebody does go down, and you know that tough decision that you have to make really never had to be made. 1-2 on Gallo, bottom third of the Yankee order against John Gray. Gray's at 72 pitches.
One thing I've always believed in, and my father was big on, is competitive competition. You know, you hope it makes everybody around you better. And you know, sometimes when you're on a club like this with depth and a lot of talent, it's going to push guys to you know, play at their best.
That one's drilled to right field deep. Is it fair? Foul ball.
You see way out in front, and out in front as a hitter, you see how much that ball hooks. Coming around the ball a little bit, and when you do that, it's hard to keep that ball fair.
You're talking about injuries, one of the most time-worn phrases, and I don't think it wears well, is, you know, you don't lose your job because of injury. Well, you do. If the guy who replaces you is better and shows that he's better, you're going to lose your job.
Well, isn't that where the Wally Pipp whole thing came from?
Right.
You know, right. I mean, that's the quickest way, especially now with the way the game works, especially when you talk about a guy with options. Sometimes that option can be the worst thing that happens to you.
Broken bat, that dunked into right field by Gallo, so he picks up the Yankees' second hit. A leadoff single here in the 5th.
And that's a good sign for Joey Gallo. Getting deep into a count, battling, grinding, just making contact again, reaching a little bit, like Paul was talking about earlier. Nice to see him stay back some, not try to go get the ball so much, allow the ball to come to him. But again, a nice piece of hitting and a great feeling for Joey Gallo.
Wow.
Anytime you lose a bat to a base knock, it feels great.
I'm loving this Phantom Cam. These are great shots here. And I'll tell you another thing is Calhoun did a good job in right field getting over to that ball and keeping Joey Gallo at first base.
Push bunt, and it's caught by Ibanez for the first out.
And the idea is to push this bunt, at least get him over and possibly get it in between for a base hit. But this is the worst thing you can do as a hitter. See the ball, the bat behind him. You got to get that bat out in front where you can stay on top of the baseball.
Well, Gray looks like he might be hurt. He's had 2 IL stints, one because of a blister on his middle finger, a left knee sprain as well. And that's going to do it for John Gray. He's going to be knocked out of the game with what appears to be an injury. Well, in from the bullpen. Looks like it's Brock Burke. Gray departs. Runner on first, 1 out in the 5th. Life who hits it out of the park. Well, Hyundai wants to award a hero with a 2022 Hyundai Tucson. To nominate your hero, visit HyundaiSaluteToHeroesNY.com and tell us why they should win. So one of the 4 lefties in the bullpen, Brock Burke, comes on 21 strikeouts in 14 innings. His numbers are really good. This will be his 9th game. He has as much time as he needs because he's coming in because of an injury. Here's what I don't get, Paul. Kiner-Falefa has been swinging a pretty good bat. Why would you bunt there? If you do sacrifice, you're losing an out, and you're passing the baton to a guy who's won for his last 25. It doesn't quite make sense to me.
Yeah, that didn't come from Aaron Boone. I mean, that's something that Kiner-Falefa thought that he could trick Texas and possibly get something going. And you know, a lot of times in baseball, you'll make a decision and you go back to the dugout and you think he's probably saying the same thing. Why did I do that? But you know what? It does happen. If it works, you know, you're saying what a great play. But you know, he is a good part of this offense, especially with men on base, at moving the ball around the field to get the job done that way also.
And the pitch from Burke is a strike. 0-1 on Trevino. Nothing here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Beautiful day in New York City.
Michael, you talked about it. Texas loaded with lefties in the pen, and Burke is another one we haven't seen yet. 4-seam fastball, about 95, throws it about half the time. A slider and a changeup to go with it.
Well, Jose Trevino in 107 2/3 innings behind the plate. Pitchers are pitching to a 1.59 ERA in 140 innings with Kyle behind the plate, pitching to a 3.28. Now, all of those numbers can be skewed a little bit. Remember, Kyle was behind the plate in the first couple of starts when Garrett Cole was struggling, so that kind of tilts the ERA just a bit.
Still, all in all, not bad for both catchers, though. I mean, that's solid. Now, you know, if either one of them get the bat going a little bit, that would definitely be an added plus.
Line to left field coming on Solak. He's going to have to play it on a hop. Gallo will stop at second. It's a single for Trevino. First and second with one man out here in the fifth.
Well, there's a base hit you're looking for to keep things going. And you saw the reaction of Joey Gallo. Did not get a good read on this ball. He felt like that once he rounded second, you can hear the sound of the bat off the end of the bat. And possibly he could have cruised into third. Boy, I love this phantom cam and these replays. You can see this ball just off the end of the bat. Stings the hands a little bit, but feels great when it hits the outfield grass. And you see Joey Gallo, watch when he rounds second base. I had a chance there. And as a base runner, you can't depend on the third base coach there. That's got to be a decision you make on your own.
Now, those great shots that you're seeing from this very special camera that we're employing, Tony Cambino is at the camera, and he is the absolute best in the world. And he has given us just amazing shots. And we want to thank the bosses at Yes for making that camera available. Just outstanding.
When you see DJ, you never see DJ LeMahieu get that upset during that bat. That's not even ended yet. I mean, Ramon's had some struggles today. Getting the ball on the plate, calling them strikes, and you can see the frustration right there from DJ LeMahieu and the entire Yankee dugout.
You're right, Cameron. I never see him walk away like that.
He's a guy who does not show very much emotion, good or bad. So to see him react like that lets you know he does not like what's going on right now.
Let's see the pitch.
Yeah, it's clearly low and was probably away.
That's an outburst by DJ. 3-1.
And as a
In
hitter,
other words, Michael, when I used to argue from the dugout, all the players would like say, "Ah, there goes O'Neill again." So when DJ does it, you get a lot of respect because he never opens his mouth, right?
Yeah, see how that works, Paul?
That's exactly how it works. He does not, argue or yell or gripe at all.
There's ball 4, and the bases are loaded with the Yankees for Aaron Judge.
I don't know if you were counting, Michael, but that was ball 5, actually.
That brings up Yankee center fielder.
Well, we gave you the scouting report. Ramon De Jesus is
Judge.
pitcher friendly.
Number 99.
But Paul, talk about that for a second. When you're a hitter and an umpire calls those really bad ones on you, it literally takes your focus away from what you're looking for. It actually makes you jumpy at the dish. I mean, it makes you, want to, swing at pitches that aren't even close. Does that not affect you as a hitter?
It drove me crazy because you don't have enough time to really recover, and that's the thing. As you get older, you do realize, I mean, obviously the worst it can be is on strike 3 because the bat's taken out of your hand. But even early in the count, and I've argued with umpires before, they don't understand the difference between 1-1 or 2-0. I mean, that is a huge difference if one pitch is missed early in the count.
All right, big spot in the game. Nothing, bottom of the 5th inning. Gallo's at third, Trevino's at second, LeMahieu is at first, and Aaron Judge is at the plate. So Doug Mathis, the pitching coach, had a conversation with Brock Burke, now back in the dugout. Strike.
Wow. I would love, at some point for umpires to, when they have days like this, to have to go to the podium like the manager, like the players, and maybe have to answer some questions.
He actually called that in a defiant way and then stared at Judge. It looks like he's trying to, show them who's boss, and he is the boss. He's the home plate umpire. The 0-1. Let's see that first pitch to Judge, exactly where it was.
You see it a lot. It's just down. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. And you don't see Aaron Judge show that emotion either. But he had that same pitch called first time up.
So Burke on in relief of Gray. Not sure exactly what was wrong with Gray. We'll get word from the Rangers, but he did leave because of an injury of some sort. 2-1. 2-2.
Aaron Judge has had some pitches in these first 3 games here, including the doubleheader last night, that he got good swings. A week ago he was hitting them out of the ballpark. Right now he's fouling them off. That was a good pitch to hit in a big situation.
Three and two, no place to put Judge. One man out, 3-2 count, nothing, bottom of the 5th inning, bases loaded for the Yanks. Burke on in relief of Gray, facing Judge. Gallo a big lead at third. Time called. Culberson very deep at third, about 10 feet off the line, so that allows Gallo to get far down the line. And with a lefty on the mound, even more so. His back is to the runner. Swing and a miss. Judge strikes out for the 2nd out of the inning.
If you break down this at bat, and you'll remember this bat at the end of the game, right there, ball down, he gets behind, and that's the argument start. Gets you frustrated. That's the saving grace. He did not get the high strike there, but he had 2 pitches. That one right there, he fouled off. And then the pitch he strikes out on, pretty much down the middle. This is definitely an at bat that Aaron Judge felt like he had a couple pitches that he could hit.
Here's Rizzo. He's 0 for 2. And there's a strike from Burke. Rizzo 2 for his last 25 in the last 8 games. That's an .080 average. Has not had an extra base hit, nor has he driven in a run. 3 infielders on the right side for the lefty swinging Rizzo. Rip foul. Oh and 2. One and 2. Heim faked the throw to third to get Gallo back to the bag. Two and 2. Burke seeing his first big league action since September of 2019. He had shoulder surgery, actually throwing quite well. 25 years old, 2nd big league season, both with the Texas Rangers. 2019 and here in 2022. Fouled away. Gallo's at third, Trevino's at second, and LeMahieu is over at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning, 0-0. Burke against Rizzo. Strike 3. Rizzo down looking. So the Yankees had the bases loaded, one man out. Judge and Rizzo coming up, but 2 strikeouts by Burke. We go to the 6th, 0-0. Audi vehicle at your local Tri-State Audi dealer and do it today.
I'll tell you what, if you see what he has got going, it's that cut fastball, just burying it on the right-handed hitters. He's mixed in a couple changeups and some fastballs, but it's been cutter after cutter, and it's been very successful for Cortez today.
0 for 11, 5 strikeouts against the cutter. Here's Culberson, and there's a strike. Now he's got a lot of zeros up on the board, and it's out of necessity right now because the Yankees just are not scoring against this Ranger pitching staff. They had an opportunity and could not get it done there in the bottom of the 5th inning. 0-0. Yankees have 3 hits. The Rangers have not had a hit. 1 base runner, a walk to Heim. Line drive caught by LeMahieu, 1 away.
And there was another cutter.
Is just stay off the barrel of the bat, and that's what that cut fastball will do to righties. You see that ball gets in on him. A little jam shot to DJ. Quick one out here.
Here's Eli White. Grounded foul. Well, he's ahead on everybody.
0-1 is huge for Nestor. You know, we saw that early in the season when he was having so much success. Getting strike 1 really put him and set him up for good things to happen in at bats. And now 14 of 18 on first pitch strikes from Nestor. And again, that's why the guys that are having a lot of success in this league, they're getting ahead. They're not falling behind, allowing hitters to be comfortable in the box. Getting strike 1 is extremely important.
2-1 on White, number 9 batter in the Rangers order. He's had just 2 3-ball counts the entire game. And now it's 3. The rubber game of a 3-game set. 3-2. He's almost seems fearless on the mound.
He gets the ball. He gets the ball, gets the sign, and he's ready to go. He trusts his catcher. They seem to be on a great page right now, and that's what you love as a guy playing behind the pitcher, working quick. You love that. He keeps you on your toes, ready to go, and he's getting you back in the dugout quick. So he hopefully can keep it going this inning and get the Yankees bats back in the dugout.
Well, there's a walk to White.
White, a guy with some serious speed, you know, in a nothing ball game. See if he tries to pick up a first move and get a bag and get in the scoring position.
Top of the order, here's Marcus Semien. He has struck out twice against Cortez. Good move. That was his balk move, and White dives back. Just 70 pitches, 1 out here in the 6th inning. High pop-up. Who's going to get it? Rizzo makes the play in foul territory for the 2nd out. Here's Garcia. He has struck out twice. Nestor has 8 strikeouts and 2 walks. Kind of hangs that leg up there just a bit before he goes to first.
Yeah, Nestor gives you so many different looks that he's a tough guy to get a read off of. So a guy like White, if you're going to steal, it's going to have to be first move.
Fouled away. Top of the 6th inning. 0-0.
Yeah, these are the at-bats that, you know, they're tie games, or you really break them down on who has put some runs on the board as a team. You look at Garcia, 90 RBIs last year, 18 so far this year. So a guy that Nestor's got to make good pitches to get out of this inning.
Yankees have 4 outfielders. None of them could get to that one as it lands in the seats, out of play. This game is played in such an odd way now. The Rangers have been unable to scratch a hit. The entire right side of the infield and then some is wide open. There's your base hit if you want to go that way. The Yankees are daring him with 4 outfielders, but that's just the way the game is played. Hard to explain.
It's not that hard to explain. It's just the player that we're making now. It's the player that they want. They want the guy that just goes up there and tries to hit balls out of the ballpark and not be a complete hitter. You know, Miguel Cabrera, 500 homers, 300, 3,000 hits. You know, there are guys that came along that still did it well.
Garcia down looking, and Nestor Cortes has been near perfect through 6. He's pitching a no-hitter. Alert your friends. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 0-0. An all-time favorite, Andy Pettitte. It's Andy Pettitte bobblehead night, and the first 18,000 guests in attendance receive an Andy Pettitte bobblehead courtesy of Delta Airlines. Tickets are going fast, so get your tickets today at Yankees.com/tickets. Okay, so Nestor's done his job. He's not allowed to hit. Couple of walks. Does not have a run against him. The Yankee offense has not done much against Texas either. 74 pitches through 6 innings for Nestor Cortes. 9 strikeouts, 2 walks. Giancarlo Stanton leads off. He's 0 for 2. And Burke deals, fouled away. Oh, and 2. Swing and a miss. Stanton down on strike, so Burke has struck out 3 straight Yankees. Hey, tomorrow night on Yes, Luis Severino gets started as the Yankees take on the Blue Jays in the first of 2 here in the Bronx. Coverage starts at 6 with Audi batting practice today and then the pregame. Then we're back with the first pitch shortly after 7 o'clock on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. Now, the last time a Yankee pitched a no-hitter, it was Corey Kluber, and the Yankees did not score until the 6th inning in that game either. Nestor looking for some support. Donaldson takes a strike, 1-1. Donaldson, 1 of the 3 hits. You've had a single by Donaldson, a single by Gallo, and a single by Trevino. That's it. And the Yankees have managed 4 walks, so they've had some traffic. Just haven't gotten it done. There's a ground ball bobbled, picked up there by Seager, fires to first. They get Donaldson for the 2nd out.
You see a little frustration here with Josh Donaldson. Put his head down, didn't see the boot at shortstop. Still made it an easy play, but you could see his foot got down and just didn't have much left.
And there's a strike to Torres. One and 1. Torres 0 for 2. Foul back off the end of the bat.
You can see these Yankees hitters really in between on Burke. 96-mile-an-hour heater, a good straight change off of that. He's doing a good job of mixing and matching those two, keeping these Yankees hitters off balance.
Missed outside, 2-2. Alone with his thoughts, Nestor Cortes. He needs a run. And the 2-2. 3-2. And the payoff. Fouled away. Along with Paul O'Neill, Cameron Maben, and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Michael Kay, and we thank you for spending part of your Monday afternoon with us. Yankees and the Rangers 0-0 in the rubber game of this 3-game set. Through 6, Nestor Cortes has not allowed a hit to the Texas Rangers. 3-2. Line drive caught by Culberson, and that'll do it as the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3, and we go to the 7th. Stay tuned. Airline of the New York Yankees, Delta, keep climbing, and by Ford, the official SUV of the Yankees. Cadillac scoreboard, you see the story right there. Top of the 7th inning, neither team has been able to score. Yankees have 3 hits. The Texas Rangers don't have a hit. It'll be Seager, Heim, and Solak. 3, 4, and 5 against Nestor Cortes. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Seager's 0 for 2. Ground ball to second and a strikeout. Cortes at 75 pitches. Missed with that one, 1-1. Two and 1 on Seager. Seager 1 for his last 18, 0 for his last 15. Big free agent pickup by Texas during the offseason. 3-1. And the pitch. Foul back to the screen, 3-2.
He went with all breaking balls. He got to 3-1, and he said, here, I'll challenge you. Got a foul ball there, now back. Full count. Big pitch right here to lead off the 7th inning.
And he walked him. Third walk issued by Cortes, and that'll bring up Heim.
And you can see a little frustration from Nestor right there. He's a guy that doesn't like giving free passes, and he wanted that pitch to be a lot more competitive. And that's what Nestor's done so well. When he falls behind, he's able to make competitive pitches without just completely giving in.
Popped up left side. LeMahieu in foul territory, and he runs out of room. Now Cortez's high for pitch count this season, 91. He's gone over 100 only twice in his career. and he's 81 right now. One and one. They get one on to first. Not in time.
Jonah Heim, for as big as he is as a catcher, runs pretty well. I tell you what, this was kind of an in-between hop for kind of Falefa. Let's see. Yep, looks like he's safe.
Good call by the first base umpire, Lance Barrett.
In between hop, in between DJ and Kiner Falefa, both of them for a second, not knowing who was going to take this ball. And you see Kiner having to get around that ball to make a good throw to second, I think allows Jonah Heim to just beat the throw at first.
The pitch to Solak is inside 1-0. He's 0 for 2 with a fly ball to center and a ground ball to third. Chad Green getting ready in the Yankee bullpen. One and one.
Nestor really bouncing back from his last two outings, especially the last one Wednesday. But one thing that I'm noticing is he's really doing well is his tempo is so much better. He is working so much quicker, getting the ball ready to go, and not allowing the hitters to get comfortable in the box. Paul alluded to that earlier. You know, when the guys get it and going, you really don't have time to dig in and get your thoughts together and get your mind right. It really can be frustrating and throw you off a little bit as a hitter.
Three and one on Solak.
As you see pitchers starting to get a little bit tired, and you talked about his pitch count. You see not as sharp with the cutter, starting to get in some longer counts than he was earlier in the game. Really be careful and not make that mistake in a 0-0 game.
They walk Solak, second walk of the inning. Now remember, everybody wants to see history, but the Yankees want to get a win. It's a 0-0 game, and a quick trip to the mound to talk to Cortez, and maybe Matt Blake giving him a little time too to regroup.
Yeah, I think Matt Blake just trying to give Nestor a second to catch his breath. Talked about he's working quick, but maybe slow down just a tad, regather himself, and get back to pounding the zone with strikes.
Remember the graphic we showed you? He had 2 3-ball counts. Well, now he's had 5 3-ball counts. So whether or not he's starting to fatigue just a bit. Still 18 of 23 first pitch strikes. He has 9 strikeouts, but he does have 4 walks. Here's Andy Ibanez, first and second, 1 man out. Pitch is high as Trevino fakes that throw to first base.
If you're a pitcher here and you're thinking about getting a double play, you think what can do it. Nestor does not really have a sinking fastball, so he's going to have to try to get that cutter in on the hands and try to create a ground ball that way. You're 0-2. You can really try to bury that thing in there, get a strikeout, or get an easy ground ball.
All right, with this next pitch, he's going to match his season high pitch total, 91. First and second, 1 man out, top of the 7th inning, 0-0 game. Yankees and the Texas Rangers. The 0-2. Foul back.
It's interesting what he did there. He threw a pitch inside, but he went with the four-seamer, which is just a little more velocity. Didn't quite get it by him, but, you know, still made a statement inside.
Strike three. Ibanez down looking, not loving the call.
Well, I tell you one thing, that at bat sequence-wise is as good as it gets. You've got to really just watch what happened. All inside, and it set up an outside pitch. Trevino, great job getting a strikeout there in a big position here for the Yankees.
So here is Cole Calhoun. You don't want to make a mistake against him, as Garrett Cole was telling us. Cole pitched an unbelievable game in game one, and Calhoun ended up spoiling it with a solo home run to tie the game at 1. Yankees came back to win the game. There's a strike. Now Cortez's longest career start was 7 innings on August 20th of last year against Minnesota. He's 1 out away from that. Grounded and grabbed there by Torres. Over to Rizzo. Cortez with a no-hitter through 7 as the Rangers strand 2. Now they have to play the managing game. Too many pitches, fatiguing. How much does he have left? You got to stay tuned at the end of 6 1/2. Time for the 7th inning stretch. Nothing. Bottom of the 7th inning. Nestor Cortez is not allowed to hit through 7 innings. Just 3 hits for the Yankees against Ranger pitching. John Gray lasted 4 1/3. Cortez 10 strikeouts, 4 walks. Second career start of 7 or more innings. We told you about the one against the Twins. And now the Yankees have decisions to make. Now you could say, well, leave him in there, because everybody wants to see history. I get that. But the Yankees haven't scored a run, so it's not like they can play with that. They need to win this game. So a lot of decisions on the plate of Aaron Boone right now. I think if the Yankees could put up a couple of runs here, a crooked number, Cam, I think they would send Cortez out.
I believe so. My buddy Greg Amsinger believes that no hitters from one guy are a thing of the past. So it's an interesting situation that Boone has in front of him right now.
And there's a strike.
Yeah, I think the game at hand obviously is the most important, and I also look at the walk column. I mean, he's given up 4 walks, so it's not a perfect game. And if you do the math, I mean, you're going to look at 120, 25 pitches possibly to get through, and that's just too much for Nestor Cortez at this point in the year.
Now the Yankees do not have anybody warming in the bullpen. They did have Green up, but there's no one warming right now. So it looks at this point as if Nestor Cortez will in fact come out to pitch the 8th inning.
Brock Burke piling up the strikeout since he's entered the game. His 4th there.
I tell you what, going back, what a great mound visit by Blake. I mean, went out there, got him settled down, made some great pitches, got a strikeout, and the strike 3.
Right to Calhoun. That ball kind of died. Looked like he hit it well, but died in front of the warning track. 2 out. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Well, the Mets had a 5-pitcher no-hitter a couple of weeks ago. The Yankees did have a single-pitcher no-hitter. Paul and I did that game. It was Corey Kluber, and that was against the Texas Rangers, but it was in Arlington.
That was really the last healthy game he pitched for the Yankees, too, as I remember, Michael.
Yep. And he did not have a high pitch count, if you remember, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
But I talked to a lot of baseball people, and they said, you can't look at pitch counts in no-hitters. He said, a couple of people said, if you look at the number, just add like more stress to it because you're trying to make history. So it's not the same thing. He threw 101 pitches in that game, Kluber did.
Well, if we're going off of that philosophy, Edwin Jackson 149 in his no-hitter. I think he had 8 walks, but like you said, when you start talking no-nos, some things you got to weigh and consider.
That's why it's so amazing what David Cone did. He threw a perfect game and threw just 88 pitches and had a little rain delay thrown in there as well. Yankees still hunting for a run here. It's 0-0. As Trevino fouls it back. Swing and a miss. And the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. 8 in a row retired. Cortez coming out to pitch the 8th. Where are you going? Stay right here. Hyundai scoreboard, top of the 8th inning. 0-3-0 for the Yankees and zeros across for the Texas Rangers. That's a man with a lot on his mind. He has Clay Holmes warming in the bullpen just in case. Culberson will lead off, and that pitch is foul back. Now, I know the big narrative, especially when they took out Clayton Kershaw. How could you do that? You want people to see history. I understand all of that. But Nestor did struggle in the 7th inning with a couple of walks, but they're keeping him in there in a 0-0 game. 0-2.
Michael, if you break this down, this is the beginning, obviously, with the no-hitter. But the game is, the outcome of the game still at hand. But if you let him get through the 8th, then you have to let him go through the 9th. So this is a very interesting inning for Nestor Cortez.
And you see him drop down, go with his sidearm fastball to get that strikeout right there. Charlie Culberson going in his bag a little bit to try to get through this inning. As Paul said, huge inning right now for Nestor Cortez.
Well, Joe Torre once told David Cone when he took him out of a no-hitter after 7 innings when he was coming back from aneurysm surgery, he said, once I let you pitch after the 7th, I got to let you go all the way no matter how many pitches you throw. So the key decision is after 7. After I let you pitch the 8th, no matter what the pitch count is, I've got to let you go. The 0-1. Looks like he found a little bit of a second gear in the count. 0-2. That was pitch number 100 for Nestor Cortez. Nestor has had a vagabond-like existence in the big leagues. Not highly thought of. 36th-round draft pick. Released by a couple of teams. Ended up back with the Yankees. And since the beginning of last year, he has been money as a starter. It's one of the great success stories that you will see. 7 1/3 innings today. That's a career high already for Cortez. And now he's 5 outs away from making history here in the Bronx. That one is looped into center field. It's a base hit. And there it goes. That's a no-hitter as Nestor Cortez gives up his first hit, 1 out into the 7th inning, and the small crowd here in the Bronx gives him a great hand. What a performance by Cortez.
An absolute great gesture from these fans, giving Nestor a standing ovation right now, up on their feet, appreciating how their lefty has went out and dominated today. Outstanding job from Nestor Cortez.
What a job by the left-hander, and listen to the ovation he'll get. how he's turned it around, and look at the performance he turned in today. And Eli White ends the bid with history, or for history, with a bloop single into center field. Clean single. And Boone gave Cortez every chance, pushed him to the limit, and this finally ended the no-hitter. So Clay Holmes comes on and deals low to Marcus Semien. 15 games now for Holmes. This is the 15th. You'll see his numbers.
See a little brief conversation at first with Eli White, a guy who might be looking to try to steal a bag here late in this game.
You go back to that base hit, and he had two options, which he's used all of today. It was the cutter or possibly the four-seam fastball, and he went with the four-seam fastball, did not quite get it in. Ball wasn't hit really hard. He jammed him. But you know what? You cannot say enough about what he did today. 11 strikeouts, hand the ball over to Clay Holmes. And there was so much to be said in the equation. Could he possibly get to the ninth? You see the four-seam fastball just did not quite get to the inside corner. But another thing that was going to come into play is, you know, even if you go into the ninth inning, the Yankees have not scored a run. You're in a 0-0 game. So, you know, even if you have a couple-run lead, then you have an opportunity. Right now, the outcome of this game is still up for grabs.
Let's see if this is two. There's one on to first. It's a double play. So 8 innings in the book. Yankee pitching has allowed 1 hit and no runs. And Semien bounces into a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play, and Cortez likes what he sees. Moment, Cameron Maben.
And the mayhem moment of the game. Nestor Cortez absolutely dealing today. Back in his bag. Fastball working, cutter working, everything. I mean, gave you a little look, the normal delivery, the little shimmy shake delivery. He gave you a little bit of everything, but more than anything, he's given the Yankees a chance to be in this ball game. Nestor Cortez, Hialeah's finest, another outstanding start. Great job by Nestor Cortez.
Brett Martin will take over, third pitcher used by Texas, and he'll face the top of the Yankee order. You know, some might scoff at this, and I don't think it's hyperbole at all. Since the beginning of last year, you can make the case that Nestor Cortez is one of the best starting pitchers in all of baseball. His numbers would indicate that he certainly is in the conversation, and he is against all type of that sort of pitcher. The guy who's going to throw 98, 99. He's not Max Scherzer. He's not Garrett Cole. But, Paul, all you could ask about with a pitcher like this is what are the results, and the results have been outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, results are numbers, and what has he done for this team? It's been unbelievable. And can you take a guy who's just learned how to throw a cutter, has a 92-mile-an-hour top-end fastball, and at the end of this game has a better strikeout percentage than Garrett Cole, your ace? So you are not lying when you say what he has done in the turnaround of his career.
Pitchability still works.
There's a ground ball to second. And LeMahieu just jogging down to first base, and the ball was mishandled by Ibanez, but he didn't really have to rush because LeMahieu wasn't there.
You know, I know it's a long season, but these are the little things that matter. Just giving a good hard 90. And I think DJ will be the first guy to tell you he's got to, you know, go a little bit harder. It's just all about playing the game the right way, and you know, good things happen when you hustle on the baseball field.
We've seen it twice in a 0-0 game. Donaldson in the 6th, and now LeMahieu here in the 8th. I mean, every base runner counts. And LeMahieu usually is not one of those guys that does that. Here's Aaron Judge. Foul back. So Chapman doesn't have a blue box on the bullpen budget because he hasn't pitched in 7 days. Yankee bullpen has been well rested. Remember, there were 3 days off, 1 off day and then the 2 rainouts. And you always worry about Chapman with that long of a rest. Is he going to have any command? One and one on Judge. Judge walked, and he's 0 for 2. 1 and 2. Cortez has made 6 starts this year. His ERA is 1.41. He's only allowed 5 earned runs in 32 innings. So he didn't complete the no-hitter, but he gave the Yankees an outstanding start. And the Yankees, once again, are struggling with their offense. They scored 2 runs in the first game yesterday and won 2-1. 2 runs in the second and lost 4-2. Grounded in the hole and through for a base hit for Judge.
Well, Aaron Judge puts the ball in play, ball out of way, and he ends up hooking it into the hole and finding a hole in the left field.
So here's Anthony Rizzo, who would certainly say that he is due. He's 0 for 3. He's 2 for his last 30. Remember, got off to a great start with the 9 home runs. And he's still stuck on that number. Bottom of the 8th inning, 0-0. Judge on first, held by Ibanez. Foul back.
Well, Martin gave him his fastball right there. First pitch out over the plate, fouled it back. You can expect to see a lot of things spinning at this point. Slider and a curveball. Martin will throw.
That single by Judge, his 600th career hit. Did he go? Checks his swing, and third base umpire Liebensparger said yes, he did.
Well, sinker in really tied him up. It's a pitch to just show you inside. He got a check swing and a strike. Now that outside corner really comes into play against a left-handed pitcher.
Served into left center field. Is anybody going to get that? No, it's going to split the outfielders. Here comes Judge, rounding third. They're waving him home. Here's the throw. Here's the play. He slides in. He's safe. And they have Rizzo hung up between second and third. He gets tagged out, but the Yankees have a 1-0 lead on the RBI double by Rizzo.
Well, you really got to question the defense there. Rizzo did what he usually does against lefties with 2 strikes, and that is to hit the ball the other way. It found the gap. Aaron Judge obviously runs much better than you would think with his size. Got a great jump and a great read, and they took a chance by sending him. Good throw, might have had a chance. At the end of this play, you look at Rizzo, he's rounding second, going to third to try to help that defense cut the ball and let Judge walk in. But right here, it could have been a close play at home plate.
So it's an RBI double, outstretching 7-5-2-4. And here's Stanton. So the Yankees finally break through, and they lead this 1-1-0.
It's a big swing from Anthony Rizzo, and just outstanding job by AJ, running with his head up, reading that on his own, and then picking up the third base coach. That's a great job. Good job on the secondary. Things like that so important when scoring from first base.
Line drive and caught by Seager for the final out. But the Yankees finally break through. 1 run, 2 hits, and nobody left on base. Chapman will come on and try to close it out in the 9th. Judge carrying the bacon. He slides across with the go-ahead run. T-Mobile coverage cam. And it's the phantom camera, or coverage cam today, and it gets Aaron Judge sliding across with the first run of the ball game. It took the bottom of the 8th inning before either team was able to break through, and Rizzo drives home Judge with the run that makes it 1-0 Yankees. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by Delta, the official airline of the New York Yankees. Delta, keep climbing. A lot to break down about this game, so keep it right here on Yes after the final out, as our studio team will have highlights, analysis, and complete player reaction from today's series finale. Plus, Aaron Boone on the manager's report. It's all coming up on the WB Mason Yankees postgame. Big hit by Rizzo, picked up his 22nd ribby, and here's Chapman. It's his first game since May 1st at Kansas City. So this will be his 12th game, and it's his 15th career appearance on 7 days rest. The most recent was the 2020 ALDS Game 4 against the Rays. And he'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the Rangers' order here in the 9th, trying to close it out. Three strikeouts for Garcia. Those were against Cortez. Aaron Hicks takes over in center field for Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge moves from center to right, replacing Stanton. Now, the one thing you worry about when Chapman has not pitched for a while is command. So he's down 2-0 in the count. Goes with the slider, swing and a miss.
Boy, he does that a lot when he comes in and can't get the fastball over at 2-0, 3-1. He'll go to the slider. He had a swing and a miss there. Two and two. Fastball just 96. Garcia leading off here in the 9th inning. Yankees lead 1-0, trying to take this series 2 out of 3. I'll tell you what, I know it's old school, but boy, if you're leading off the 9th inning in a 1-run gain and a guy is 2-0, you've got to make him throw a strike. And Garcia has left the strike zone twice, and now you're 2-2. An opportunity to get a strikeout. 3-2 on Garcia. Now, we told you this is his 15th career game on 7 or more days rest. So his ERA in the previous 14, 3.68. 11 of the 14 outings, he threw up zeros, and then he had 3 clunkers. This whole inning, the whole outcome of this game, it pretty much depends on this pitch in my mind. I mean, if Chapman walks him, you know, he's the wheels start turning. He gets that first out, he could breeze through this 9th inning. Fly ball right field and deep.
Going back Judge, he's there on the track and then comes back on the grass to make the play for the first out.
Aaron Judge, you see kind of a sign of relief. And Cam, you know those balls in the 9th inning, close game, wind affects them, sun affects them. Just glad when they hit the leather.
And that's a great way to play that ball. You get there, find the spot, and then play it going back towards the infield. That's a textbook way to play it, especially late in these ball games when, like you said, all you want to do is make sure that ball finds leather.
Here's Seager inside. 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Popped up shallow center field. Who's going to get there? It'll be Hicks, and he makes it in left center, fighting the sun. And the Yankees are an out away from nailing this down.
You see, both of these plays have not been easy. Aaron Hicks struggling with the sun. Aaron Judge, the sun and the wind on the ball before. Daytime baseball, especially late daytime baseball.
Never easy play when you have to battle that sun, I tell you what. Worst sun in the big leagues, Oakland.
There's Jonah Heim. Rangers down to their final out. Grounded foul. Heim 0 for 2 with a walk today. Chapman trying to complete a combined 1-hit shutout for the Yankees. They're up 1-0, top of the 9th inning. One and one. One 5-0 for the Yanks, 0-1-0 for the Rangers. Anthony Rizzo's double in the 8th inning drives home Judge. That's the only run on the board. Now, if the Yankees hold on here, just consider how good their pitching has been. That would mean that they would have scored 5 runs in this 3-game set against Texas and won 2 of the 3 games. Strike away.
It's been all fastball slider. We have not seen the split fingered yet, and that's what he has so much success with the strikeout. If he can get to that 2-strike count that he is here.
And the pitch. 3-2. Nick Solak is on deck if Heim reaches. Line drive, and the Rangers are still alive as Heim singles with 2 outs.
We've talked about Heim against lefties this whole series, and he puts together a pretty good at bat here. 3-2 slider, just puts it in play and finds a hole.
Brad Miller will pinch run for Heim. And here is Solak. Miller, the tying run at first. And a strike. Drop the slider in there.
Cam, you had some wheels. You pinch run late in a game like this, one-run game. Manager, you have to get the sign, or you're on your own usually?
Late in the game, usually the sign was from the manager. First base coach is going to communicate with you, maybe give you a pinch or something if he wanted you to try to take this bag. Chappie not the best move in the game, so a guy like Brad Miller could be looking to take off right here, especially with 2 strikes, get himself in scoring position.
Miller at first. 0-2 count. Once again, a strike away. Solak at the plate. Chapman on the mound. The veteran lefty deals. 1-2. Chapman steps off. Solak steps out. 1-0 Yankees, top of the 9th inning. Runner goes. And a stolen base, and he gets into scoring position as Miller swipes second.
And that's what you alluded to right there, Paul. A guy like Chapman gets 2 strikes. You kind of almost know he's going to go to his regular motion, not really worried about holding you, trying to get that swing and miss, that punch out. Brad Miller taking advantage of that, getting the scoring position.
Checks the runner, 2-2. High fly ball, left field. Going back Gallo. Battling the sun, coming in, making the play, and the Yankees win 1-0. They win their 6th straight series. They're the first American League team to 20 victories. And Anthony Rizzo's 22nd RBI is the difference in this game. And you can look at everybody else and mark everybody else, but this is a story of Nestor Cortes. He has nothing to show for it except for a lower ERA. Paul, he was the star of this game.
Certainly was, and it was from pitch 1. I mean, we had talked about how he has learned the cutter. Boy, he just buried it all day, and he just showed unbelievable control early. It's a shame that he had to leave this game without a decision, but boy, you touched on it, Michael, what he has done with his career and what he has done with the Yankees since he became a starter.
Pretty amazing. 2 out of 3 against these Texas Rangers, as the Yankees, as we mentioned, got great pitching. 151st save for Chapman. He ties Gossage on the Yankees all-time list. We'll come back. Yankees win this one 1-0.